Welcome to r/off my chest, where Opie is pretty sure her sister is a murderer. Our next Reddit post is from Agreeable Support. I believe that my sister killed my niece. I just wanted to, well, get this off my chest and vent a little. I'm a 26-year-old woman, and when I was younger, my parents did foster care. We usually had 6 or more children in the house at once, and my parents were very busy. My parents only fostered girls because, quote, girls can't rape girls. Spoiler alert, 8-year-old me found out firsthand that girls can, in fact, do that. My 2 older sisters, Sarah, who was 11 at the time, and Rose, who was 10 at the time, were biological sisters to each other, and were adopted into my family when I was 8. They abused me in every way imaginable. Physically, emotionally, verbally, sexually. Nearly every day for 8 years. They even took it too far once and suffocated me until I stopped breathing altogether. Then did the CPR we learned in a babysitting course because they realized my parents finding me dead in Rose's room would be suspicious. When I was 16, I was finally able to tell my parents. Sarah had moved out, and she was the one who threatened my life the most, and they were horrified. My mom cried and said she felt like something was going on and she didn't know what, and now the pieces all fit together. I got a permanent restraining order against Sarah, and the police did investigate the case, in which Rose admitted to sexually abusing children from previous foster families with Sarah. Neither went to jail. Years later, just a few months ago, my mom got a call from my aunt, my mom's sister, that Sarah was in the local news. Neighbors smelled something rotten coming from her home. The police investigated and found her 10-month-old daughter, whom we didn't even know about, decaying in a locked room to the point that she was unrecognizable. Sarah said, "He made me put her in there," and started talking to people who weren't there. She was put in a mental facility and charged with hiding a body. She's been transferred to jail since then. The mental health professional evaluating her decided she was faking. The poor baby died from extreme blunt force trauma to the head. No idea who the father is. She hasn't been charged with murder, only hiding a body. But I have little to no doubt in my mind that she killed her. I've been struggling with this news ever since. A part of me is happy. She's in jail. She can't hurt me. But then I think of that poor baby girl, and I just want to throw up. If I'd never told anyone what they did, that baby would probably be cared for by my parents and would be alive today. I reasonably know that it's not my fault, but I feel so guilty about that poor baby. OP, you 1000% did nothing wrong here. I think you're suffering from survivor's guilt or some form of trauma. I strongly encourage therapy based on this story. Our next Reddit post is from Off My Chest and Gone. I just got back from a week in Bali with a close friend, and I think I finally get why none of the men she meets goes past 3 to 4 dates with her. And I feel awful because I know that I'm never gonna tell her. She's actually great, smart, funny, kind, but there's something I saw on this trip that I can't unsee now. The cat. The cat wasn't on the trip with us, but the cat's ghost followed us everywhere anyways. Everything, and I mean everything, came back to the cat. Every couple of hours, we were back on it. At dinner in beautiful places, she would go quiet, scrolling old photos, worrying if the cat was depressed. She would do multiple FaceTimes with her cat sitter every day. Full baby voice. At night, she literally sang lullabies to the cat over the phone. She'd leave beach parties to get updates from her cat sitter. At first it was cute, then it became a lot. We walked past a tattoo shop, and she seriously considered getting her cat's face tattooed. In a cafe, she saw 2 cartoon characters kissing on the menu and went, "This reminds me of my cat." I asked how, and she said that once her cat sniffed another cat and they looked like they were kissing. Like everything's filtered through the cat. One day, we spent 3 whole hours finding the perfect gift for the cat. 3! The cat is gonna break it in 5 seconds, and we could have done something else in that time. Explored a new place maybe, but nope. And then I learned how she lives, and it got worse. She has a no closed doors policy. Because if any door closes, the cat screams all night. Bedroom, bathroom, everything's open. This means that the cat sleeps on her chest every night, follows her into the bathroom, sits on her lap while she's on the toilet, and also watches her shower. I tried to imagine a guy coming over, and yeah, that's probably where things end. She also wants this insane K-drama level of love. Like, can't live without each other kind. But then casually she said one day that she would always choose her cat over a partner. So what is someone even signing up for? By date 3 or 4, I'm guessing the guy she's dating has heard about the cat 30 or 40 times, seen her FaceTime it mid-meal, maybe been to her place, maybe gotten scratched, and realized this isn't she has a pet. This is the pet is the main character, and I'm not and never will be. So he leaves, politely. She thinks the men aren't trying and gets upset and goes back to the cat. The bond gets even stronger. The next guy sees an even more intense version of this and leaves faster. Loop. And the worst part? She has no idea. And I'm not telling her because I know how that conversation goes. She'll get defensive and I'll become the villain who doesn't understand her bond with her pet. And our friendship will be over. So yeah. So now every time she says, he just wasn't feeling it, I'm like, I think I know exactly what he felt. Honestly, even though this entire story is about cat, the problem isn't really about the cat, because you could replace the cat with anything. You could replace it with, let me tell you about Warhammer 40k, or let me tell you about my running hobby, or, the show I'm watching, or whatever. The point is, just being around her is exhausting because she has an obsession and doesn't understand that other people aren't obsessed the way that she's obsessed. Our next Reddit post is from Sad Chickie. I'm gonna start by saying my sister has a lot of issues. A lot. Some are real, some are not. She has poor coping mechanisms and is unable to do basic tasks. When living with her husband before this, she accrued $10,000 in debt and their apartment was semi-hoarded. She said if she moved in with my parents, she would take care of them. I expressed doubt at that statement and warned my parents that it would not be that way, and that they would both end up taking care of her instead. They decided anyways to try. Both them and my parents split the mortgage on a large, beautiful house, thinking that this would be an investment in generational wealth. It's been almost 2 years since they moved in, and my sister had a baby during that time. She does barely anything for the baby or herself still. Her husband does more, but still not much. My mom has basically raised him on her own so far, while feeding everyone in the house and keeping it clean. Well, my mom is older now and ended up severely injuring herself while watching the baby. She needed surgery, and this is when everything hit the fan. My sister and her husband had already used up all of their formula for their baby, and so nobody was able to help my mom recover or watch the baby. I asked my mother if she needed help, and she said yes, so I came over to help her recover. I could only take a week off without significantly affecting my finances. My mother's recovery is going to be months long. Instead of looking for childcare or a babysitter, my sister asked my mom to ask someone she used to work with years ago if they could babysit. My mom wasn't really comfortable with that, but my sister blew up and called her a B word. She pretty much bullies my mom into doing whatever she needs done. My mom cried so much and did it anyways. My mom told my sister that she's the parent and it's her responsibility to find care for her child. My sister is mad at mom for tattling to dad now. Anyways, my parents are fed up of doing everything for her. It's getting to the point where they're considering asking them to find their own place, aka kicking them out. I think they should because, obviously, my sister doesn't seem to appreciate their effort. I stay out of all this. My sister burned her bridge with me years ago, and I warned my parents that this would all happen. She can hate me all she wants, but I'm happy that I have my act together. Our next Reddit post is from Throwaway Whitey. I'm a 24-year-old guy, and my girlfriend is 23. We're both working towards our master's degree in our chosen fields. Hers is in the arts, and mine is in STEM. However, both of us enjoy writing fiction, especially erotic fiction. My girlfriend is way better at it than I am. She has amazing prose, and she has some weird but amazing work that I've told her she should publish. Her erotic short stories are very well written and enjoyable to read, even if the content doesn't do anything for me in the erotic sense. I will admit that I'm pretty vanilla when it comes to my erotic fiction. The most I would ever write about is light bondage, like handcuffs. I knew my girlfriend had some more extreme tastes when it came to what she enjoys reading and writing. It's also important to point out that my girlfriend is bisexual and has dated women in the past. I love her a lot, But after reading what she wrote and her admitting to enjoying the fantasy, I don't really know how to feel. For background, my girlfriend loves erotic fantasy. She has all the gore novels, and I know that she has other books with the same level of world building and extreme kink on her Kindle. I thought it was quirky and kinda cool to be with a person who enjoyed the more extreme side of fiction. Last night, I was up late and asked if I could read some of her most recent short stories, and she agreed before we went to bed. It was safe for work and very cute about a fairy and a giant meeting and falling in love in a fantasy setting. After I was done reading, I went back to her Google Drive and saw a folder for a longer form story that I hadn't seen before. As I started reading, I became grossed out, but it felt like I couldn't stop reading. I read 3 chapters before closing the tab and going to bed. I woke up early today, and I'm unable to get the plot out of my head. In the story, boys and girls are raised separately. And when a man turns 20, his sperm is harvested and he's castrated. Not just castrated, but fully emasculated. Stem and berries, so to speak. Then they're permitted to be around women. The world is ruled by an elite class of women who have total authority over which genes are allowed to be used in breeding. They have a caste of underwomen who are used for domestic labor and sexual purposes. It was very well written, but horrific. A lot of men died due to the procedure, and the women like it that way. It's basically a reverse patriarchy ramped up past 11. I asked her about it this morning, and she asked if I liked it. I told her it was well written, and she talked about it being so hot and a filthy fantasy she loves. She left for class about an hour ago, and I can't stop thinking about it. She doesn't seem to mind that I read it, but I cringe slightly whenever I think about the scene where the male POV character went through the change. I can't get it out of my head, nor can I get it out of my head that she enjoys the fantasy of making all men null downstairs. People are saying that this is basically The Handmaid's Tale, but with the genders reversed, and I agree. It is a bit extreme, but it's not, that much more extreme than a lot of other fiction out there, to be honest with you. OP mentioned that his girlfriend likes the world of gore, and if you don't know what that is, I haven't read any of the books, but I'm vaguely aware of them. It's like a world where all the men rule and all the women are in like 24/7 bondage or something like that. So it's a little unusual that OP doesn't blink twice at the gore novel thing, but is freaking out about the castration thing, because they're kind of equal in terms of intensity. That was r/off my chest. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit episodes every single day.